Okay.
Yeah.
And then talk us through you becoming mayor of Cape Town. How was that? How was that feeling, and how was that phone call when you first got it?
Look, that was a funny issue, unexpected.
Yes.
I think it's a case of, I just said to myself that I work very hard, do what you need to do, don't moan too much, be at your post every day. Early in the morning till late evening.
From 6, 7 o'clock.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Deal with the public's complaints as far as you can, and try to assist them. Don't lie to the public. Be open to the public. Tell them what you can do for them. Tell them what is it you cannot do for them. What is the role of a councillor? You know, there's a feeling and a perception in the communities. A councillor can do everything for you. A councillor is a magistrate, is the church minister, the welfare worker, the police officer, and in reality, it is definitely not like that.
You get a budget, you've got to obviously work with different communities, NGOs and within your community, and you've got to try and split that budget between everything to try and keep you going for, I don't know, is the budget every year or every 5 years?
Every year. Okay. And you know, people with some of the, looking at the past election and that sort of thing, and with candidates saying, I will do this, I will do that. And you listen to that and you say to yourself, what nonsense. If that councillor win the elections and he get into the council chamber, immediately a different piece of cake. You will have to understand, you don't actually control the budget. There's other forces in government, in council, controlling the budget.
Really?
You actually is part of many other councillors having a say where a budget needs to be spent.
In your ward?
In the ward, you can't come and say, if you're a ward councillor, my entire budget will be spent only on this issue in the ward. Really? It doesn't work like that.
You've got to split it.
It needs to be split, and all the council need to sanction your recommendation, assist you what is the biggest needs in the ward and that sort of thing. So no one have the absolute, complete sole right to say and to determine how the budget, even in your ward, needs to be spent.
So Dan Plato, you were mayor for about 2-3 years?
2 years.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful period of time in my life. Let me say, learn an awful lot, learn to know a lot of people. Also, it wonderful in the sense that it was the period of the World Cup.
You were lucky.
And very lucky. When will the World Cup ever come again to South Africa and to Cape Town? Maybe not even in my lifetime. But look, that was difficult. Just to, you know, the highlight for me was just to sit there, to enjoy the soccer and to enjoy the vibe, to see international teams playing on our soil.
Did you get to meet any of the players?
Yeah, no, definitely. I met a number of the players. I had to greet them. I had to walk on the pitch to greet some of the players, and that was beautiful.
There was also world leaders that came back then. Did you get to meet any of them?
Definitely, yes. Ministers, Boris Johnson, that is now, he was mayor of London,
Foreign Secretary.
And he's now Foreign Secretary. We call a Foreign Secretary the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
That's right.
And to see what happened to him, he's now Foreign Secretary from the mayoral position and so on.
How is he?
Great. Well, no, he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's okay. He also faced the same problems, that is bureaucracy, that is a agenda and strict rules and that sort of thing, and that is political life.
Did you get to meet Joe Biden?
Not. Yeah.
And Merkel?
Yes, I appear on some pictures with Merkel, looking at Helen Zille's book, Without the Fight, and Helen posted one picture of herself, myself, and Angela Merkel in a book. And you're asking who's Helen?
No. How is Angela Merkel?
No, look, you must remember, you're talking here about very important world leaders, and just to be part of that company for a couple of moments, just to pose for the picture, that was a highlight enough for me.
But I know that you've met our president, Jacob Zuma, and you've met other, did you ever get to meet Mandela?
definitely. Only once,
Okay.
but that was also very, very wonderful. Just to shake the man's hand and to say hi to the man.
Where was that? And how-
Man, I can't remember that one where that was,
Okay.
but it was down here in Cape Town.
You were mayor?
At
No.
at the event. I'm not so sure.
Okay.
All right. And how did you find him?
A very humble person, a person that can come down to your level. Hi, how are you? Are you well?
And that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about, do you think that there's, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Do you think that there's a lack of leadership like that in South Africa? I mean, people as charismatic and as down to earth as Nelson Mandela, do you think that that is important to have somebody like that?
Definitely. He was a father figure.
Do you think we miss him? We do?
Oh no, we all miss him. Doesn't matter the political party
Yeah.
you belong to.
Yeah.
You're talking here about great leaders.
Yeah.
What would South Africa not be alike if Nelson Mandela was released 10 years before his time, and he could have been president for a second term. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Nelson only served one term.
That's right.
Right, he did.
As president.
94 to 99.
Yeah.
And then Mbeki took over.
Exactly, and he was 10, 15, 20 years too long in jail.
Yeah.
Even others, the Oliver Tambus and
Yes.
those people.
Yes.
It's unfortunately the death of Chris Hani at the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Even to some extent, Joe Slovo died, I think, of cancer and so forth. Great leaders that they had to leave the South African political arena, I think, before the time. We needed them for the transition period, and currently we struggle with leaders with a cool head that can really lead people, can look up to them. Doesn't matter, again, the political party you belong to. They just carry that weight with them. They know what they're talking about. They know what they want and what South Africa needs and want. They never look at themselves and after themselves. For them, the interest of the public, the interest of the people come first. And we see something different in politics today, that self-centered interest and that sort of thing. We don't need that.
We don't.
Yeah.
So, moving forward from Mayor to Minister of Community Safety in the Western Cape, how long have you been there? And talk us through how...
Well, it's now just 5 years in that position.
Another challenge, a new challenge for you?
It is a new challenge, but exciting. But at the end of the day, to see the realities in the Western Cape and in South Africa in this position, sometimes heartbroken, to deal with criminality issues on a day-to-day basis. The raping issue, the killings issue, the drug problems in our communities. And it seems as if government as a whole cannot win this fight. Government will definitely have to do more. And at the end of the day, we all know who they are. We all got their names. We know how they operate. We know their addresses, but we can't pin them down to see their day in court. And it is just a feeling for me that the small person, the small fry must go to jail for 10, 15 years. Our courts is full of our youngsters. The court is full of our people. And the question for me many a times is, what the devil are they doing there? They do not belong in jail. They do not belong in an incarceration center. And I'm sometimes of the opinion the state, the government as a whole, fail many people. And that is why I've said to myself, I can't save the whole world. I must continue just to do my best. I must continue to do what is required of me to do by the constitution of this country.